It's 7 o'clock.
It's intro music.
Do you know where all your children are? Do your children know where you are? That's the question of the day. Hi ho, is off to work we go. Whoops.
Yeah, I was just tracking my granddaughter. She's in London.
You can't go to work today, not all of you.
And I'm watching her.
Not for a lot of folks, it's not a work day.
No.
For others, especially those who work for the federal government, today is a holiday where we pause to reflect on the value of the work that Dr. Martin Luther King did for equality. But hold on. And I say, hold on. Don't we work for the federal government? Don't you and I work for the federal government? A lot of us feel that way. We work, we pay taxes, we contribute to the almighty bureaucrats, right?
I had 33 years working for the
federal government. But do we work for the government?
Yes, we work every day for the government.
No.
We do. We pay our taxes.
No. You see, if one actually works for someone, the one gets paid by someone for the job they're doing. And in the case of federal employees, that's what makes them smart. Because under normal conditions, like a work schedule, the federal government actually pays the federal workers for the work they're doing. Now, in our case, we don't work for the federal government. We don't get paid by them. The difference is we actually pay them. And that, my friends, who are not federal employees, is the difference between them and us. Good morning. Glad I've got that straight. I'm Rayford Brown, and you're welcome to Live and Local Real Talk, where both you and we have chances to respectfully have opinions to offer.
That is correct. And good morning, I'm Lee Barrows. And Monday morning is cold outside. I drove in very cautiously and slow. It's black ice out there and some patches here and there.
It's very chippy out there. Y'all be careful.
Yep. Be careful.
Be really careful.
Be careful coming out your front door.
Yeah, that too. Because should not be getting any rain right away, I don't think.
No. Nothing in the forecast until next weekend, which we'll talk about later.
Well, there's always something in the forecast, but not in what you're talking
about.
No
rain.
Okay, I got some stuff for you. Tomorrow, parents, teachers, students, and residents in the Southwest area particularly, listen up. Onslow County emergency units will be conducting a full-scale active shooter exercise at Southwest Middle School tomorrow. That's the 20th. Not today. It's tomorrow. This is a drill and exercise. The event begins at 9 a.m. and will feature a simulated, that means a not real, response by first responders and actors who are portraying victims. You may see emergency units responding. If you have a scanner, one of those things, you may hear law enforcement or emergency responders, lots of radio traffic. It sounds authentic. If you see anything on social media that is not from the Onslow Sheriff's Office or the Onslow Board of Education, or you get text messages or telephone calls, treat it as being less reliable than the old days of tabloid claims of alien abduction at the supermarket checkout counters. You'll get better information at the beauty parlor or barbershop. Let's refer back
to this. Which school was that?
Southwest Middle.
Middle. Okay, thank you. Sorry. Carry on with your craziness.
Remember those days of back in the beauty parlor, or I remember the days in the barbershop. You could go there and get all the news that's fit to be heard.
Absolutely.
And it was always more accurate than the stuff you're reading on socialist media. Jesus. What a mess. The goal of this exercise is to evaluate the actions of first responders so that in the event of a real emergency, they're better prepared to respond. Jacksonville Public Safety will monitor the Onslow County response and assist in making recommendations. The public should be advised that they will likely see increased law enforcement and emergency responder presence at Southwest Middle School during this simulated response. Do not jump up and down. Don't go rushing to grab your kids from something that's not anything going on except a training exercise. Got it?
Very good. And you can also follow the Onslow County Sheriff's Office app that they have.
Yep.
They will put all the information on there. They will keep you informed, the beginning, end, and any questions that you have, just follow them on their app.
Yeah.
one of the coolest things they've ever done.
I like it. And,
I do too.
And you know who we have to thank for that?
We have
Me. I'm kidding. Of course.
Well, take the credit if it's due.
We all know if I had to take the credit, then I'd have to take the blame for whatever happens. So, okay. Our buddy.
Yeah. Well, first of all, our sheriff.
He hired the right man.
He hired the right person, Trevor Donnell, who used to be the editor of the Jacksonville Daily News, the Daily News. And they were looking for a person to be their communications director. And when it was first announced, what did we do? We sat here, right here, and we said, hire Trevor Donnell.
Yeah. We didn't know he was I had no idea he was going to apply when we were talking about it.
We said, right. When we said, hire him. And he was hired, and he's done a fantastic job. The funnies that are on the app, on the sheriff's office page, their social media page is hilarious. Some of the stuff they put on there. Good job, Trevor. Good job.
Yep. Okie dokie. What else you got cooking this morning? Let's see. We got some. Did we? I didn't say those closings, did I, from last week? Things that are happening this week?
Well, we also have, which I'm going to post later.
Camp Lejeune gates and stuff?
The Camp Lejeune gates, all the closings, and when this will be open. It was, you read it all, and it was so much. And I came across it again this morning, and I will post it on our page.
Yeah, we'll get it up there shortly.
Yes.
Some the various locations are being closed. Some of them are in, some of them are outbound traffic. So it's got recommendations for to use, and you'll get that posted. But we went over it last week, and it's been publicized. So hopefully y'all know what it is.
Absolutely.
A lot of folks around these parts, even a lot of people from around the country, have often expressed the same advice to others who say they don't like it here.
What?
Find somewhere that you'd like to live and move. If you don't like it where you are, I don't care where you are.
How can you not love living here?
Well, I don't care where you are. It might not be here. It might be up the road a bit. It could be anywhere. If you don't like it, move.
Absolutely.
Around these parts, generally intended for all of those who move here because they don't like where they came from. They get here, then they try to change everything here to be like the places they left because they didn't like it there. That makes no sense whatsoever. If you don't like someplace, if you don't like Jacksonville, you don't like Onslow County, you say, oh God, it's not like where I came from, then go back to where you came from. Or go find somewhere else. But you moved here because you didn't like it there. And now you get here and you want to change it to make it like it was there. No, we don't want you here. We don't want you anywhere that you do not want to be.
Places change. Life changes.
Yeah, is there something wrong
Stores
with them or
change.
with us?
I mean, just for example, look, it used to be the big thing was shopping malls. Look now. Shopping malls are not a thing anymore.
They weren't, they were, they aren't, they will be again.
Right.
Wait and see.
I mean, and your eating establishments, you get this influx of eating establishments, and after a couple of years, some of them close down and go on, and it's just things change all the time.
Now, I'm going to go on to the bigger picture.
Oh, go to the big picture.
The big picture. What brought this all up is the case of the great House Representative Ilhan Omar.
Oh, yeah.
Elected by a district in Minnesota, who, as a member of Congress, offered her views of these United States with a profane GD, the United States.
Oh. Let's do a GoFundMe for a bus ticket.
And this Somali native, who chose to move to the United States, if no one else will offer a suggestion, then I guess it's up to me. Take your crap and go back to Somalia, lady. And I use that term loosely. Believe all of the millions of dollars you've amassed since you got here, amazingly, on a congressperson's salary of less than $200,000 a year, you've got millions of dollars. Take it and go to Somalia and change it back there. Leave us alone. The remarks came at a Democratic field hearing, go figure, in St. Paul, entitled Kidnapped and Disappeared, Trump's Deadly Assault on Minnesota. She claims she escaped from Somalia's oppressive rule and said that the immigration policies under the Trump administration is no better than the Somali policies. The laws that we, the United States, if finally enforcing, have been our laws for a long time. These are the laws we've had from the beginning. Unfortunately, due to the policies of past weak presidents, both Democrat and Republicans, those laws were not enforced like they should have been. In some cases, not only were they not enforced, our government, under at least two of those former presidents, actually aided and abetted the illegal immigrations of foreigners to happen. Illegally.
We started on
I do not have a solution to correct this whole mess. While it may seem heartless to some of you, we have no choice but to fix the problem. And it's going to hurt. In towns back in the old West days, laws were not enforced there either. They had laws, but unfortunately, the locals could not enforce those laws because there were too many bad people there. There were crooked politicians, crooked sheriffs, and crooked crooks. Until the federal government sent teams of federal marshals, backed up, if needed, by federal troops, the bad men stayed in power. It didn't happen overnight, perhaps because of a lack of frontline knowledge of what was happening. Remember, communications in those days depended upon Pony Express and a telegraph that sometimes the lines were down. But a little at a time, things began to become civilized. Happened everywhere but Los Angeles. Not to compare the degree of criminal activity, especially when it comes to political nonsense, to what's happening in places like Minnesota, but it certainly causes me to step back, look at everything that is currently happening, and question why such a small number of political hacks have managed to get so many of the citizens of Minneapolis doing their dirty work for them. Makes me wonder who is actually behind the protests that have become violent. Don't tell me they're protests when they become violent. They're riots and often resemble a riot. The housewives, the young workers, the young voters, the vulnerable folks who are so stupid they bring their children into what they know can quickly become a battlefield. What makes them tick? You saw signs, you saw kids, you pointed them out last week. All these little kids out there on the front lines of something that was potentially going to become very violent.
Horrible.
Now, parents driving drunk on the highway with their kids in the car, parents with a load of dope that they intend to sell in their car, and they've got their children along, will be arrested, in addition to the obvious charges, and face charges of felony child abuse. Should not every parent with kids at their sides in a protest that turns violent be arrested for the same thing? Why would you not? Where are the police? Oh, yeah. Minneapolis police are not doing their job. They're not doing the job that they swore an oath to uphold. Every bit of this is adding up, and the evidence is mounting that will force the president to invoke the insurrection laws at some point in time. He has backed off that several times, and he's trying not to. Do not be surprised when the next breaking news will be covering that. For me, I just want to know what organization is behind all of this. And we might be really surprised when we learn who is at the top of this movement.
That reminds me. I found this yesterday. Breaking. Nope, that's the wrong one. That's the wrong one. Let me see if I can find this one.
On your phone? Somebody called you with it?
No, this is one of my social sites, one of news sites. New York City's Democratic Socialist of America is reportedly planning a large-scale campaign to mobilize thousands of activists ahead of potential federal immigration enforcement. DSA leaders outline plans to train roughly 4,000 volunteers to participate in the rally in New York. And I got that off of Fox News.
Well, I'll say it one more time. If you are rallying people to break laws, you're putting it out there in advance. So that's what you're doing. You will be arrested. Well, I hope.
Rayford, do our listeners know that it is against the law to impede a religious ceremony such as Sunday morning church.
Mhm.
It is against the law to disrupt or impede those services. Yesterday in Minnesota, where they're having all the rallies at,
They don't enforce the laws there anymore.
There are a group of protesters who are under the assumption that one of the pastors, maybe helping ICE, decided during the church services to hold a protest rally. Now, what I thought was interesting is, of course, you got the new YouTuber podcaster, Don Lemon, who got kicked off of CNN, and he's doing his own podcast now. None of the protesters started any of this mess until he walked in the room with his little guy with the film camera and Don with his microphone. And then suddenly the protesters stood up, started yelling and screaming, disrupted the whole service. People sitting there going like, what's going on? What's going on? Now, and he's interviewing people. My opinion, he was inciting some of the things that he was saying. And, that's Chris. What it says Kathy Marks, but the phone number looks different.
It's Chris out there. Good morning, Chris. How are you?
That's not their number.
Morning.
It's Kathy. It's not Chris.
Have you got a new phone number or something?
Yeah, this is my spoof phone.
See, I told you it was a different number. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I remember. I know about the spoof phone.
Yeah, that was incognito. But Rayford, I have a question for you, and maybe you can answer it. Maybe somebody else out there can. If the U.S. Americans out there protesting, why are they disrespecting the American flag by hanging it upside down?
Don't get me started on that one.
Because they're not real true Americans.
It pisses me off.
You know what? I hope they don't come to Jacksonville because this old guy may have to get involved, and that one is going to go down in a bad situation. And yes, they may win, but they ain't going to win real easy. It will be nasty. It will be very nasty. Because I don't fight clean. I fight to win. I've never fought a fair fight in my life. Do not intend to start now.
That's why I want you on my team, Rayford. But does anybody really understand why U.S. Americans are disrespecting our American flag by out there protesting and hanging it upside down?
I don't know. Why don't they just take their babies and hang them from the poles outside to protest? This is America, people.
They're taking the babies out there anyhow.
I know they are. And that to me, I'm kidding you not. If violence breaks out, these people should be charged with felony child abuse.
I agree.
There's no difference in that and driving drunk with those babies or kids in their car with you or hauling a load of dope to go sell. There's nothing different whatsoever about that.
None.
And what they're doing there. And you will be charged if you get caught with kids in a car, if you're hauling dope or if you're drunk. You're going to be charged, and it's a felony.
That and they're putting those kids out there in danger. That's right. Child endangerment.
That's right.
With child services. So, I don't get that part either. So you're right. Hang them upside down. If you don't care about them, you're disrespecting your own children.
Yep.
But like I said, I don't understand. They're not protecting the American flag. They're not protecting their children. What is it they are really actually protesting against? I don't get it.
If you ask them, are you in favor of protesting against the laws of these United States? Which laws are you selective about? Which laws do you not want to enforce? Because what you might not want to enforce, there are others I might not want to enforce. In other words, I don't want to enforce your right to get out here and protest and act like an idiot. Should I be allowed to do that? What is the difference from me violating your rights than you violating the rights of everybody else?
Exactly. I don't think they really, I think that there's probably a good handful out there that really know what they're protesting against. The others are just followers.
Well, that's true. They're like the Pied Piper. You don't got all the rats headed to the river. You're going to drown. Drown them,
right.
drown them all, drown them all.
We're all going to go out and create some hate and discontent. Come on now, let's do it. And if they use stun guns on us, it's all good. You know, you'll survive that.
So you get hit with one until you try it one time.
Yeah, those are doozies.
That taste of you've been shocked. Do you remember that taste of electricity in your mouth when you get shocked?
Absolutely.
It hangs with you for a long time.
It does. The roof of your mouth. Yes.
The smell of your hair singed.
Oh, yeah. Everybody had to go through that when you're going through any kind of law enforcement academy or you had to, because that's what you carried. They didn't want you to use your gun if you didn't have to. They wanted you to tase them first.
See, I had a problem with that getting tased, or getting beaten with a stick. I carried a 45 automatic at the last duty station. I didn't have to get shot with that to know it was not a good thing. Okay?
No.
So, they told me how to shoot. All I needed. Why did they have to teach me not to how it felt to get hit by this other stuff? I don't know.
No. It's just so that you know the impact, I guess. And you're right. If
carried a 45.
I know it. And personally, I hate to say this, but I'd rather get shot because then hopefully, and they shoot to kill, because then I wouldn't feel it. But tasing, wow. Stun guns, wow. Those are doozies right there.
They are.
But they're just, the people are not understanding, and the more they use it, the more people are coming out. Do they not approve of that? Would they rather have somebody shot? I don't know what they want. I don't know what they're asking for.
The good old days of the 3-foot baton, or the 2-foot small stick, or 20 inches, I think it is, stick.
Exactly.
Those are going to get you down. They're going to knock you down. Okay, and you're going to hurt.
Yes, they are.
You're going to hurt.
Yep.
And sometimes you're going to get hurt really bad, and it's going to be with you for the rest of your natural life. But you know what? You're not paying attention. You're not paying attention. I do not want us to ever have to resort to what Iran's doing. They got 16,000 people they've executed on the streets.
See,
those are protesters.
That's insane.
But
every one of them has a different thing they're out there protesting against in my heart.
Yeah.
And it's like, if you can't come together and protest one specific thing, don't go out. Do your own thing and your own time and your own people. But nobody knows what they're out protesting.
Now,
and don't hang my American flag upside down.
There are a lot of
I'll tell you what.
There are a lot of people of another party, the Democrat Party in particular, that will come out and say, well, look what Obama was having arrests. He deported a lot of people. He did this. He did that. He did this. He did that. He did all of this stuff. And then they said, but we don't like Trump for doing the same thing. And the only difference that I keep finding, and I'm going to get a call in a few minutes, going to take me to task, and I'm going to sit there and listen, then I'm going to hang up. The only difference between them that time and this time, the two different names were president. 50% of the people are radical haters of this one person. There were 50% of the people in this country, roughly, who did not like Barry Obama. But they didn't jump up and down and scream and holler and protest. How about the number of people who did not like Joe Biden? Hello.
Exactly. Yeah.
Did they get out in a riot? Did they throw temper tantrums when he pardoned everybody, when he set his son free? The druggie, the guy with the gun. And Biden protested so much against gun violence and everything else. Oh my God.
I know.
And then he
you're right on target there.
And then he
said going down the right path.
And then he set his son free, who was a druggie, who went out and bought a gun illegally and violated federal laws.
Exactly.
I'm sorry.
Exactly.
Did we, the people, get out here and protest and go raise Cain about that? Should we have? No, we should not have. He did what is legal for a president to do. Period.
Well, I don't think it's right that any president has the right to break any laws, which they do. They kind of hit that gray area, and people aren't realizing that. They're out there doing things that they should not be doing. I don't see anybody raising an uproar about that. They sit on their couch and say, I can't believe he did that. That's not right. Well, okay, So what ICE is doing, it may not be right, but they're doing it for a reason. They're doing it a little harsh to me. They could mild it down just a tad bit. I mean, not more than a tad, but calm it down. But when we have to call in the National Guard, people, you've gone way too far. You know, you're putting U.S. citizens and our military, our law enforcement in jeopardy because you're pissed off about one thing or another when you just need to sit home, call your friend, and vent about it.
Yep.
You know, but to see sitting out there on the streets, carrying your children, hello, I mean, you see the crowd running and dispersing, and mothers are carrying their children. Okay, that to me right there, get her. Just go after her, you know, and get her for child endangerment and put her behind bars for a little while and put that baby with CPS.
Yeah.
I think that would
Child
be
Protective Services would be great.
Yeah.
That would be great. And you wouldn't even have to stun her. You would just have to grab her and take that child away. I think she'd learn her lesson.
Yeah, well, the only
Not for
problem with
some.
that is the children. You still got the children that are going to be marked for life. I don't
These
know that they're not
children.
already marked for life, living with people like that. But you know what?
Mhm.
I don't know how you can add to it. Arrest them, yeah. Just go to you know who they are. You got their pictures. You know,
Oh, yeah.
you've got everything. Just go to their house. Tell them to come
These
outside.
children don't understand.
And do you have make arrangements to get somebody to take care of your children? Because we don't want to take them too. Come outside where they don't
Right.
see me put handcuffs on you and you act like the fool. Because so many
Right.
of them will do that. Bless their hearts.
Yes, they will. But and I agree with you. Bless their little hearts.
Give
They
me
get out there and you know want to act like an ass. I'm sorry about putting that on the radio, but that's what they are. They choose the situations that they put themselves in.
Mhm.
They're choosing it. So if you're going to choose to put your child in danger, that child does not have a choice
Yep.
because
You're
you're
right.
hauling that child with you. So therefore, you have committed a crime in my book. And
Totally
you
agree.
need to pay the consequences.
Totally agree.
Thank you.
Okay.
Well, good morning to everybody.
Good morning.
Thank you. Good seeing
Great
you.
to hear from you.
look fine on Saturday. No problems. You look like you just never been hurt. I think it was all a put on.
Yeah, it was because I got sick on the dog. I did.
Oh, did you get sick Saturday?
Yes, I did. I got sick out there at the grave site. Yes, I did.
Really?
So,
God bless you.
yes, I did. I got sick out there twice, and then on the way home, I was like, "Oh, Chris, you got to pull over the car." But yeah, I didn't have any food on my stomach, taking meds and stuff like that.
Oh, come
Not
on.
smart.
No, you know better than that.
I do, but I just didn't feel good. I didn't feel like I could put any food in my stomach, so therefore, what I was throwing up was not food. I can promise you that. But I learned my lesson. I got all better yesterday.
Good.
I healed. I'm good to go. So look out, world.
Well,
I'm
we're
on a
glad you're
rampage.
better.
You
We're glad
sound like
you're
you're full of, you know what, and vinegar, so good to go.
Yep.
It's some vinegar.
That's the one.
right. I'm full of it today.
All right.
Because
Take care.
I said, I thought, well, bye-bye. Have a good day.
See you.
You
Bye-bye.
too.
Let's venture out there where it's kind of chilly and on the high seas right now. The mid-January marine forecast
Sure.
for today out to 20 nautical miles. Westerly winds 10 to 15 knots, increasing to 15 to 20 this afternoon. Seas 3 to 5 feet, 5 seconds apart. Sounds and rivers a moderate chop tomorrow. Northerly winds 10 to 15, seas 2 to 4. A much better day to give it a whirl at the near shore and offshore reefs. Sounds and rivers a moderate chop tomorrow. Wednesday, pretty much the same thing. Northeasterly winds 5 to 10. Pretty decent. Rivers and creeks, just slightly bumpy. Not a problem. Seas 2 to 4 feet.
Okay, today sunny with a high near 50. Light southwest wind increasing 5 to 10 miles per hour. Winds could gust as high as 16. Tonight, clear with a low around 25. Tuesday, sunny with a high near 45. And Wednesday, mostly sunny with a high near 53.
Looking around the county and beyond this morning,
You
interesting.
are
Our Weather
beyond.
Network is growing feet, and they're walking and walking and walking and are talking. Some of the Ham Radio Club members are kind of gearing up for this coming weekend when it's going to be a winter field day. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy! And you're predicting, or somebody's predicting, the possibility of really wintry conditions.
There's talk.
Or wintry. There's no E in that. Wintry.
Wintry weather coming in next week.
W-I-N-T-R-Y. It's no winter E. Did you know that?
Wintry.
Wintry.
Yeah.
That sounds like a southern
Wintry.
slang to me. Wintry conditions possible this coming weekend. But
Possible.
anyway, today, this morning, during the early morning hours, You see Joe down in the barrel in Swansboro. He had 28 degrees, 99% humidity, no wind, and 29.92 inches in the barometric thingamabobber. Had 0.55 inches of rain over the weekend. Lee in the back swamp area, not the Lee here. She lives in woodlands. Lee lives in the swamps, and he had 27 degrees, 97% humidity, winds out of the south-southwest at 2 miles per hour, and 0.71 inches in his rain gauge. Carol, she was up. Dale was still asleep this morning up the river around the bend. She had 25 degrees, 99% humidity. Nothing coming out of the wind direction. It was calm. 0.77 inches of rain. And Ward over there in Cedar Point, he decided not to go hunting today for the ducks. He said on holidays and weekends, he lets the other guys who have to work during the week, let them do it. It was 31 degrees at Cedar Point, 95% humidity. He had two different readings. Like I've got two different temperature readings here. He's got two different rain gauges, and one of them it was 0.65 inches, the other 0.88 inches. He's not quite sure which it is, but he had some rain. And moving on down to Woodlands. Lee, 25 degrees, 94% humidity, calm, 0.67 inches of rain, 0.67 inches of rain. Here at the studio in Country Club, it was 23 degrees. It's now 22 degrees. It's falling a little bit, 99% humidity. We got any wind now? Nope, still haven't had any wind. It's been calm. The last wind we had was coming really light from the south. 0.33 inches of rain. High yesterday here was 48 degrees. And okay. Now, let's move on up. I put the word out on another band this morning, another frequency. And Steve over at Snow Hill, he gave me a quick temperature reading, 27 degrees at Snow Hill at his place this morning. And Mark, who's outside Aden, and I think it's near between Aden and Goodson, he said, or something like that, 29 degrees up that way. So, you know what? We got temperatures from the low 20s, mid to low 20s, all the way up to low 30s in a couple of places. So that's what the weather looks like around your neck of the woods. Now,
New York City right now is 22 degrees.
Yeah, it's not much different there than it is here, except they got a lot of white stuff on the ground. My wife left on Saturday because yesterday she was planning to leave on Sunday to go to see her sister in Greensboro, but with a possibility of rain, which turned out to be a likelihood, not a possibility on Sunday. And some called for some snow possibilities on Sunday. Erring on the side of caution, she left Saturday afternoon, got up there, nice, and then Sunday she sent me video of it snowing. 47 flakes fell.
Wow.
But the video was cute there for a couple of minutes.
Oh, nice. Yeah, it stayed too warm yesterday for it to snow, and then that front that came in with the ice and snow went more up northward and passed right by us. So
that long range forecast for the coming weekend, that is a long range forecast.
That's right.
There are things
too early.
Yeah, there are things that are happening out there.
Well, if you noticed last week, Rayford, every day when I did my weather, Wednesday afternoon, on Monday, Wednesday afternoon was supposed to be flurries. On Tuesday, it had moved to Thursday. So you can predict by all the different models and fronts and how they're all moving what might be a possibility. But as you get closer to that time, things change so much. So we'll keep a watch on it.
Okay. In general, the temperature outlook, this is from the National Weather Service from February through April of this year. This was issued this past weekend. They're predicting in this region, we are going to have, it's got really small print here. Hold on.
I know. I'm like, wow. Can you control plus?
I'm trying. Then it moves it all around the screen. Okay. So in North Carolina, all of North Carolina, northern South Carolina, it's supposed to be,
excuse me,
40 to 50% above temperatures, normal
above
temperatures,
average,
above whatever the normal temperatures are. And then Precipitation, that means something falling from the sky that's not coming from birds or airplanes. And it is looking pretty normal.
Yes.
Leaning a little below the normal precipitation. A possibility of slightly below normal to slightly below the amount of normal precipitation. So, and I'll talk to you about that H word a little bit later on, not this morning, because that's a long range. And I've got some new names and things. And then we'll do a little bit of history later in the week or whenever we have a chance.
I got some names too.
Oh, yeah. Well, 3 of them are named Lee.
I don't know. What?
Yeah, 3 different Lees.
No, we've already been through Lee. We went through Lee a couple years ago.
Well, do you know they recycle those names?
Not that often.
Every 6 years.
Yeah, but it's not been
And then
6 years.
some of them are dropped for 10 years and some of them are dropped forever.
Well, I can honestly say
it is a process they've been through. And
they will never, ever use my real name, so we're good.
I'm going to call them.
Nope.
Iranian protesters facing their deadliest days yet as security forces unleash mass killings and executions in a sweeping crackdown some have labeled genocide. According to the Sunday Times, a report compiled by doctors entrenched in the region and reviewed by the outlet estimates that security forces have killed at least 16,500 protesters and injured more than 330,000 others. The report also described the violence as an utter slaughter, warning that the true toll may be even higher due to restricted access to the hospitals and the near total shutdown of communications. That's what happens when somebody wants to take over a region. The day our government shuts down our amateur radio comms, shuts down satellite comms, you know how long it take them to shut down all cell phones? How many of y'all have a wired telephone in your home?
No, I got rid of mine years ago.
Yeah. What? And they had a tough time shutting that down real easy, right? Because those are wired. How easy do you think it will be to shut down your cell phones right now?
Push of a button.
If bad people come into this country, that's the first thing they do. If our country has bad leaders, that's the first thing that they will do when they decide to become a dictator. So those of you who are screaming that we've got a president who's a dictator, no, there are lots of safeguards between him and us. So that's not the case here. Iran, most of those victims are believed to be under 30. Under 30. The younger generation, which produces new kids, you're going to have one generation that's going to be missing.
Absolutely.
That's going to be something else. One man, the Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, or as we used to call his predecessors, Khomeini, he said Sunday that several thousands have been killed since the protests erupted December 28th. What was that? 26 days ago? Come on, give me a break. What is wrong with this? He got on television. He blamed the demonstrators, calling them foot soldiers of the United States and falsely claiming protesters were armed with imported live ammunition. How'd they get imported live ammunition? What did it have come from?
Who's going to stand there and count?
The ammo they got, the guns they got are AK-47s. We don't manufacture that kind of ammo in this country. That's Russia does.
Nope. Not standing there counting that.
7.62 by 39 rounds. Human rights activist news agency HRANA reported that as of day 22 of the protests, verified figures show 3,912 people killed, 8,949 additional deaths under investigation, 2,109 severely injured, and 24,669 in custody. Where are they going to put them? They acknowledge that the toll is much higher than that. This is just what they can confirm. The brutality, this sheer brutality. We have got ICE agents enforcing the laws that we have in this country that we've had on the books. This is nothing new about the laws we have here. We have ignored those laws. Too many presidents, two in particular, have actually circumvented the laws. But we have not enforced these laws like we should have. If we had done the same level of justice, same level of enforcement, all of these decades, and there's not one president, one political party, or anything else responsible. It's all of them. It's everybody who did not instruct ICE to make arrests. They have to be told to continue doing the work they were doing instead of reducing their numbers to the point that they could not, or making it easy for folks to get into this country, slip into this country by not having enough people to stop them at the border.
Absolutely.
We could have stopped everyone from coming into this country illegally, virtually. Some can jump from parachutes down. I mean, we can't stop all the drugs, but look at the dent that we made on the drugs coming into this country.
A big dent, a huge dent.
Yeah, we have.
Blew up a lot of boats.
There are people down there in Colombia that are having a hissy fit.
Yes. They're like, where do we go now?
Venezuela's lost a lot of people leaving their shores. They're dive sites now.
Yes. Dive sites for those bags.
Coming across the southern border, we've stopped a ton of them. Back in the day, we had Border Patrol guys riding horses up and down the border looking. Mm. And if they could not get you to stop, they shot you. Right. You are an illegal alien. You are part of an invasion force. As far as anybody along the border should be concerned, you're part of an invasion force. We do not know who you are.
You know, I think we live in a marvelous country. We live in a great country, the United States of America. I can't blame other people who live in other countries, like, say, Iran. We're so war-torn to want to come to live here. But I do believe that you need to follow the protocol to come here. Follow the law, follow the protocol. And what gets me about these protesters, especially the ones in Minnesota that I have watched all weekend, yelling about, we love immigrants, we love immigrants. Okay, well, have you stopped to think about the fact that these immigrants that are here illegally are more than likely getting food stamps, WIC, aid for their housing, free groceries, all this stuff while you're at work, working to make a paycheck.
It ain't free. You're making the living. You're making money so that money can be used to give away, to give to them. That's not a problem. So anyway, what a time. A former Iranian resident said in this report that doctors reported more than 800 eye removals in a single night in the capital alone.
Oh my gosh.
Eyes taken out.
Oh, man.
That's just torture. Torture.
That's horrible. Horrible.
If we had some raids here, I guess, last week.
Yes, we did. DEA, ATF, and whoever else was with them.
Yeah. We don't know how much they ended up with. I don't know how much of it was training or, just exercising, but because they don't give us all the information, which at this point in time, they're not required to do.
You mean the demands on social media didn't make these officers feel like they had to put out a presser? Why are they here? What are they doing? We need to know. No, you don't. You don't need to know.
If you need to know, I'll tell you.
If you're minding your own business and being a good model citizen, what do you care?
Yeah, besides that, what are you going to do with the information? You can screw it up.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Just like we've seen in the past couple of weeks.
How about last week? Camp Lejeune.
Oh, my gosh.
The socialist media that jumped on there.
It's ridiculous. Rayford, it makes me so mad.
And the Marine Corps is trying to straighten some of it out, but they still have not addressed a couple of issues.
Right. Right. Well, you know what? Someone lost their life.
Yep.
And, and I don't need to know the details. I don't need to know.
Well,
It's a very sad thing that happened. Let's move on,
And the idiots out there, and I should have pulled their name up. I forgot male or female, but anyway, they put out information that was just absolutely a lie.
It was
An
just
absolute
like
100% lie.
that's Chris Marks calling. Yeah, it's just I can't. The stuff that you read, I just can't even. I can't even.
And until we hold them accountable, or you folks out there need to be the ones go on their sites and say, "Hey, you lied, didn't you?"
Well, think
And
about it.
they'll take you down
Why are
immediately.
you putting it out there anyway? Is it your business to put stuff
Well,
out there?
it is if you want to, but you're not a reporter. You're not trained as a reporter. You don't have any journalistic skills, obviously, from the writings.
I don't need to know about people's personal business. All I know is someone lost their life. It was sad. It was tragic. Let's move past it.
But getting ready to lose my dog, I think. You need to call JPD. Tell them I got a dog napper coming into place. He says, "Oh, look at that! Look! Look! She's gonna steal my dog."
Oh my goodness!
We have a caller, Chris. What's up?
You lied to me. You lied. Yeah, beach music song. Yeah, you're right. People, these, I really believe the cell phones are destroying America. And I say that from the standpoint of they're good for the case of an emergency. When Kathy had her accident, when anyone has an accident, you need to call law enforcement. That's who they call. They call law enforcement, who then handles the situation. Law enforcement is always the first person that citizens look to for help when they need help.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the situation, and I'm glad they're doing an investigation into the governor and to the mayor, because they're not helping matters. They took an oath, and I think they're failing.
You notice how quiet they've gotten over the weekend.
Well, yes. But I think they
by legal advice.
Yeah. Rayford, let me go to a point you made up back in the old Western days.
Yeah.
When there was corrupt sheriffs, corrupt mayors, corrupt people in there, they brought in United States Marshals.
Yep.
Marshals.
Backed up by federal troops.
There you go. And the same thing is happening then, and the people respected the marshal.
Mm-hmm.
You want this place to be run like it was before, overrun with criminals. Yeah, if you want to call the gangs back then, Billy the Kid and all those guys, I know people are going, Chris, those aren't real people. They were real people.
Yes, they were.
They were real people. Some of them have died here in the 1920s that are real people. But what people have to understand is this. For once and for all, we're all immigrants. Every person in this country, for the most part, is an immigrant. I'm an immigrant, but I come from a family that was brought into this country from Italy and went through the process in the right way. And even the stories they're telling, this person from Venezuela was an undocumented immigrant. What's that mean? What's undocumented mean?
He doesn't have the paper, so he's illegal if he's here.
There you go. You're getting two different stories. Now, obviously, the family is going to come up with a story that says they were doing nothing wrong, but they were attacked. Okay. Who's not going to defend their family member?
Mm-hmm.
It's not, yeah. I mean, oh, hey, Abuhai. And I hope you'll be back tomorrow. But just this whole thing has gotten to the point where the media of this world that we live in today, not the media of yesteryear, the good media, they told the facts and that was it. They didn't go and start asking all these other people, what's your thoughts? What's your opinion? Do you have phone video, by the way, that we can use?
Yeah.
They didn't ask that. The reporters did their job. Rayford, you did your job. You had people do their job. People need to understand.
Verify, and triple verify.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the most important people are the people who put on the uniform to protect and serve. That's the bottom line. Whether you're an ICE agent, whether you're in the military, law enforcement, that's you've taken an oath. You go out every day, you risk your life, and for these people to protest and get in their faces and yell things and stuff, I don't know that they even know what they're doing it for. If they understand what the purpose of them yelling and saying, "You don't belong here, go home." How do they know these people don't belong in Minneapolis? How do they know they don't live there?
There you go. You know what? First thing, if there were no, and I'm not talking about the media cameras, but if there were no socialist media cameras hanging around, people would disperse very quickly. They're playing for the camera.
Sure, they are.
How much of that video do you think that you're seeing posted? How much do you think is what they call selfies? Selfies.
that, and it's. I don't blame anybody for it. I guess you want your 15 seconds of fame.
Yeah, go for it.
Go to a football game. Go to an NFL game. Go to a college game. You'll get a better chance of getting your 15 seconds of fame.
There you go.
On national television. Let me say this on a good note. Thank you to Live and Local Real Talk team for coming out Saturday. We retired the wreaths that were laid December 13th of last year to remember our veterans. It was the group of people that came out, including the team from Live and Local Real Talk, did a tremendous job. The young ladies from Camp Lejeune High School were out there. We had a couple of young Marines. The Knights of Columbus of Infinite Prague were out there. Live and Local, let me once again, they were out there. This group of people who care about the Americans who now rest in peace. And that's one thing I'd really like to mention. I know we have a guest coming on.
We have someone on the other line too.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I'll make it real quick. Walter Scott was out there as well helping.
Yes, he was.
I just got to say this. This small group of people showed how much they still remember and they honor these people who gave their lives at one time or another, and they fought in a war one way or another, and they protected our country.
They did.
And that is what ICE agents.
I appreciate you recognizing the Live and Local team, but let me explain to you folks out there who in this land of ours. This was probably the only occasion that I was there on time. Not the only occasion I've ever been on time, but the only occasion that I was there on time, and I was a half hour late.
Yes.
Because you guys got started without me.
Right.
I'm sorry, Rick.
You tell me 0900, and I said, well, I'll be out there. I plan to be out there about 10 minutes till 9, but no, I got there at 9 o'clock on the dot. You were done.
So
I said, congratulations, nice job.
But your heart was in it. You were there. Lee's heart was in there. Robbie, and the young people showed up, and it was like, let's get going. They had 3 funerals to do. But let me just say this once again: Live and Local Real Talk backs the community. They're there for the community. Good times and bad, they're always there. So people, you get a chance, make a post on Live and Local Real Talk and say just 2 words. Thank you. Because the Live and Local team really does care.
Right.
I'll let you guys get ready for our guest.
If you want to abbreviate it, just say thanks, which is, we'll take that too.
Right.
All right. Thank you, Chris. You take care. Mabahe. How did I do with that pronunciation?
Mabuhay.
You're almost there. Just a couple more weeks, we'll have you trained.
Mabuhay?
No.
Mabuhay?
My wife has been trying to do that for 20 years now. It hasn't worked.
So I've been hearing everything y'all been saying. And over here at Mabuhay Designs and Company here in Jacksonville, we listen to you in the morning, and we hear everything about all the. You're welcome. local support matters.
It does.
With all the political talk, everything going on, the weather, everything you're talking about, I just have to say how important it is to take every topic that you feel, whether one side or the other, and put it on a shirt and call us, and we'll make it. Okay.
I agree.
Okay, let's see. I can do it if you want to put everything that I need to say on a shirt. Just say, "Do it right."
I am coming to see you, and I've been talking for a couple weeks.
Do it right. We're going to make you a special shirt.
Right.
Yes. And I am coming. I talked about it before Christmas, but I knew that you were slammed. But I see you got everything out before Christmas. Great job.
Good job.
But I am coming to see you.
I got a lot of things I could put on one.
I want to see if he can help me make up a special design just for us.
Oh yeah, I mean, you're more than welcome to. This number that we're calling in on, you're more than welcome to give it out. This is our business line.
Right.
Give us a call. You guys have a special discount as well as your listeners.
All right, we do appreciate
Well,
that.
there you go. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I got a really old T-shirt that I got up from another thing that's got some really cool sayings on it, and I probably can steal them, but no, those guys that had it designed, they know everything.
Right.
If you know what I mean.
No,
Yep.
I'm definitely coming. It's just, that's the other side of town for me, but I'm going to get there soon.
Well, you got a car, you got a truck, you
No,
can make it.
no,
Put some gas in it.
It's got gas. I need to go.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right, you take care. Be
Mabuhay.
safe. Mabuhay. Mabuhay.
Yeah,
Mabuhay.
great listeners. Thank you.
Yeah.
And I didn't, and I meant to mention it. I think it was Thursday or last week. He had commented on our page that any of our listeners listening to our show,
Just go down and say it.
just go down there and say, I listened to Live and Local, and I saw on their page where you offered a discount
That's
for
nice.
services. So thank you, Mabuhay. That is really, really, really cool. Really cool.
You're going to charge me an extra 10% though, right?
Y'all make up for it.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
All right.
Anyway.
We've got a special guest in here.
Yes, so
Actually,
I'm
we
going to
have
get everybody
two.
situated here.
We've got one who's a former government guy and the other one who's a future dog thief.
Ooh. Got some stuff there.
His name is Shockwave.
Laura, you want to say?
Shockwave. You know what a shockwave is? You know what a shockwave is? In addition to being that doggy, but anyway, a shockwave is that thing that happens when it goes boom, boom, when the jets break the sound barrier. That's what some people will call a shockwave. Another thing that's a shockwave is made by a company called Mossberg. They got them in two gauges, 12 and 410. 410 is not a gauge, it's a caliber. I know that. But anyway, it's about that long, about his size, and holds a whole bunch of shells. And I think this guy here knows something about that.
In case we get a phone.
Walter.
Good morning, sir. How we doing?
Fine, you made it back from the cemetery. That's always a good thing.
Oh, always a good thing.
They didn't keep you.
No.
That's the way I felt when I left from there. I said,
Whoops.
I cheated him one more time.
There you go. There you go. Being out there on Saturday morning with Chris and the other volunteers and Kathy. Let me tell you something. If you want to get your heart warmed up real quick,
Yes, sir, buddy.
warmed up real quick, just go out and take the time and go out and give to others that have gave everything.
Whenever you got a something like that, something that we can wrap our hands around, we can bite into it.
Sure.
We know what it's about, and it is a great help. 1,100 of the 1,500 veterans' graves in Onslow Memorial Park, Chris and company managed to pull together the first year 1,100. Do you know how significant that is? When they were predicting, not Chris, he doesn't believe in other people's bad thoughts. The other people said you won't get but 200. The Wreaths Across America people said, for a startup, you won't get but 200 out of 1,500. That would be amazing if you got 200.
Well, I have to say,
1,100 later.
Chris and Kathy were out every single day of the year working on
Yeah,
this.
from last December.
Last December.
Yes.
For a full year. Thank you for what you did.
Yes, sir.
I know of 73 times you climbed those stairs at
Jacksonville High School.
Yeah.
The bleachers up there. I know you came up a couple of times to go give Chris some money.
Yeah.
So good. Thank you for that.
Well, if Walter tells you he's going to do it, and that's going to come up and be done.
Well, that's what you said first time you came up, and you said, I told him I was going to do this as you were pulling your wallet out, and don't drop that. I'll have to run down to the bottom and get it.
No, I'll slink through.
Rayford, I really didn't want to see you fall down.
I was just going to jump.
I've actually had to go down there a couple of times for stupid
Yes,
stuff
he
that I dropped.
has. Yes, he
Absolutely.
has.
And a couple of them I had to hurry.
Mhm.
And over in another county, not Onslow County, because our people are not like that, I dropped a cane because I was walking with a little sport that time.
Right.
I never found it. By the time I got there, it was gone.
Oh, my Lord.
Somebody underneath the bleachers, somebody's walking. What are people hiding under the bleachers for during the ball game?
To pick up stuff that people drop.
Oh,
Sounds like a
I hope
plan
they
to me.
needed it. I really hope
Yeah.
they needed it.
Well,
Well,
that's
first
just
of all,
the way it is.
Rayford, I think we need to welcome Walter. It's the first time ever he's been in our studio on the show, I do believe. Since your first
Really?
time? You never
Well,
came
Since you've been
before,
here in
did
this
you?
studio?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. All right. I know you've been to the other studio.
Oh,
Yeah.
you were? I don't
Yeah.
remember you being
Yeah.
on the studio.
he was.
That's a long time ago.
Rayford called
I've
me
had him
into
on.
going. And,
Conned you
I
into
conned
doing? Yeah.
I challenged him.
Yeah.
I did not con him.
Yeah. Yeah, matter of fact, it was whenever I ran for sheriff. We had Sheriff Miller, Boyd
Okay.
Brown, and myself.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I forgot Boyd ran too that time.
That was way back, way back. Walter and I were both back in 2015 elected to the Republican Executive Board at the same time.
Correct.
Yeah.
Wonderful time.
We both
Big
came in at the
memories.
same time. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's when things were fun.
Yeah.
Since then, I'm like,
Why haven't y'all ever elected me to anything for that Republican thing?
Well,
we don't want to
Rayford,
ruin it.
you know, we don't want to say we pick and choose because that, that's not the right
You
term.
eliminate a lot of
We-
people, don't you?
We
yeah.
pick and choose.
The issue that we have with independence and people of that
What?
nature.
You have an issue?
Well, I don't have an issue with it because everybody can do what they want. But there are some great people in our county, and it doesn't make any difference what affiliation you are. If you're there to serve the people and you want to serve the people, then welcome aboard. Because we're not going to agree on the same thing all the
I
time.
can't agree with myself every day.
I have a hard time agreeing with Walter.
Get up in the morning and say, which one are you today? You
Yeah.
look in the mirror.
That's what I say when I walk through the door every morning.
Yeah.
Which one are you going to be today?
That's after you scream when funny things happen. One morning she came in and I had two bats with the lights
She had the
around.
lights
I had-
off and
I-
these
you
know,
bats
that's
running.
fine.
I actually remember that. And you kept ducking just like,
Well, I came in on my knees, hands and knees, just to get into the room because it was dark and these things flying all around. I'm like,
lights
what?
low.
Yeah. that's pretty cool.
Then she came in one morning and I just said, well, she's just triggered their alarm out there. So I spoke to her.
Yeah.
And I said to you up against the wall, put your hands up.
He likes to see me throw my stuff everywhere. I mean, sometimes you come up here and there's bright lights hit you in the face and you get these strange voices and there's a rustle in the leaves at the same time out here amongst the trees. And
That's a silly squirrel, but he's no longer silly. I had him stuffed.
oh, yes, you did. Yes, you did. That's what you get for scaring
Hanging
Kathy.
around. There you go.
Walter came to fame here in Onslow County. He served in Onslow County under Sheriff Brown
Yes, I did.
for some time. And then not as a deputy, you were
I was a public relations
public
volunteer.
relations guy. Yeah, volunteer.
Yep.
And then you ran for public office after the sheriff's run,
Correct.
and you ran for county commission.
Yes, sir.
Got a bunch of votes.
A bunch of votes.
You got elected,
Yeah.
and then you bit off a whole lot of stuff.
Well, things happen, but you got to understand, whenever you're serving the people, it's good or bad. We're just not going to agree on everything. but don't turn away if someone brings something to your attention that we may need to look at.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody's got different opinion. I mean, some people like me, some people don't. You know, I can't please everybody. But I assure you of one thing, I will always stand for what is right or what I feel is right.
A public job, unless I missed it in the dictionary, is not a popularity
It's not.
contest. Okay. You know, sheriffs, I doubt very seriously is every clerk in Oslo County, and even the 500 or whatever Sheriff Thomas has got up in the jailhouse now. I doubt if all of those people like him. And they don't even know him, but they probably don't like him, right?
Yeah, they don't like him because he's doing his job.
He's the sheriff.
He's the sheriff.
That's the first thing they don't like.
Yeah.
You know, there are lots of positions like that. And we always talk about politicians for generally good cause. If I go to Minneapolis, for example, I can talk about politicians up there all day long, and I can't think of one good thing I can say about them, except that they're not in Oslo County. That's the best thing I can say about those guys right there. Right? You know, seriously. Oslo County, we got some great people. There have been issues in Oslo County. There will always be issues everywhere. But as long as you address them, if they're real and you address them and you can do something about them, not one individual can do anything about them.
That's correct.
That's the first thing. We do not have a dictatorship here in Oslo or anywhere else in North Carolina. But if you can, in Oslo County, we have 7 county commissioners, and if 4 of them agree on something, you can get it done.
That's correct.
Sometimes on the board, things get to be personal.
That's right.
Right?
Well,
I mean, it's going to happen.
That's right.
It's happened years and years ago when my dad was on the commission. It happens on a school board. It happens everywhere. Not everybody can always agree.
that's right.
So you ran into some difficulties the last go around. You got censured, which is I'm still trying to figure out what does that mean. I can't find a criminal statute to put you in jail for it.
Well,
and that's the world that I came from. So
well, you know, the censorship, if you go up there and you look at it, the censorship was taken from 14 to 19 different conversations that I had with the senior manager.
Mhm.
Okay. And
county manager herself.
correct. And that's really unfortunate because sitting in the position that I was to represent the people, I just can't come out here and publicly talk about it because some of it is really don't need to be put on the street.
Mhm.
And I'm not going to do anything that's going to jeopardize the board, and I'm not going to do anything that's going to hurt the administration. I'm not going to do anything that's going to hurt the public.
Mhm.
But there are issues that have been going on for years that needs to be addressed. Address them, fix what we need to fix, find out what we can do to save the taxpayers money, find out what we can do to cut off this tremendous spending habit that we have, and actually do and represent the people of this county. And that's some of the things that we are weak in.
I saw last week you were at an event that I was at,
Yes.
or I was at an event that you were at. I stopped by, but I'm not a Republican, but I stopped by anyway because there were newsmakers there.
Sure.
Some people that I know, a lot of people that I knew. Most of the people in there, I looked around when I was just standing there. So most of these people in here have been on the show.
Sure.
That was odd.
Yeah.
So there were like 18 or 19 people there at the time I counted, and I think 10 of them had been on the show.
That's correct.
Interesting.
Very interesting.
But I look at these things and I say, George Cleveland, who was there, former representative, one of the
It's
our
good to
state
see him.
representatives, looking good, looking
Yes.
relieved a little bit,
They look good.
Stress-free.
stress-free.
That's right.
And I looked at him and I said, one thing he said during all of the years when he was in office that I knew him, when he was talking to the county commissioners. You do not have a revenue problem.
No,
You have a spending problem.
we have a spending issue.
Boo-high.
You have a spending issue.
Yeah,
Do
spending
you
issue.
agree with that?
Yes. We have got to get a handle on the day-to-day operations, and this is something to every commissioner. I don't know of a commissioner statewide that don't have an issue with this.
Mhm.
And we have got to do a better job of what we do and what we purchase. It's been brought up about the budget. I sit on that board, had the privilege to be sitting on that board for 4 years. And we never once sit in on any of the department heads going through their budget. It was presented. We gave the county manager goals to be set, and we took the word that he was doing it. I don't know of anyone that actually can honestly sit down and say that they have reviewed the entire budget.
Mhm. You want to take calls?
Sir?
Is it okay to take a call?
This is Mabuhay.
Okay.
Yeah, good.
Mabu, hi, you're back.
Yeah, no, it's not normal that I call twice, but I love our commissioners and those who are running for government to help our county, so I figured I'd call and ask a question.
Sure, go ahead.
Okay.
All right, so if you're elected to become one of our county commissioners or, county commissioner, what are you planning to do to evaluate those budgets and those resources to make sure that those services and things that we're spending in our government back to our local businesses?
It's a great question. I was going to phrase it too, but a little bit
Great
differently.
question.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you, Mabu. You're going to continue listening, I'm sure.
Okay.
Yep, go ahead.
Thank you, sir.
Work on the t-shirt. All right, we'll talk to you. Okay, now, the way I was going to pose basically the same question is, as one of 7 people who needs 3 more people to get any attention on that board. Well, you can get the attention, but to get anything done on that board that you would like to see done, what will you do? What issues do you look at that you think you can get 3 other people to assist you with?
This is going to come off a little bit strong.
That's
But-
all right. I've never
but,
liked that.
I want the citizens to understand, in order for change to happen, the face of the board sometimes has got to change.
And what does that mean?
And well, the citizens are going to have to make a decision who they want to represent them.
Mhm.
It's got to come from the citizens. Not saying anything against anybody, but we have to be willing to sit down as a board in a workshop, whatever environment you want to. But I've got to have 3 other minds that think alike, that are truly there to save the taxpayers' dollars. We have to address issues that pertain to that budget, openly discuss it if we have to. Right now, only 3 commissioners at any one time can be seen anywhere. We don't make decisions. Walter Scott has never went behind anywhere and made a decision, say, this is what I'll do if you do this. That doesn't work with Walter Scott.
You have work sessions, budget sessions, they call them, I think, right?
It's very structured, yes.
How many departments are there in the county?
I think there's around, without the elected officials, I think there's 23.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot of budgets to look at.
Yeah.
For the elected officials, I mean, you've got the sheriff,
You got the sheriff, the register of deeds, the clerk of courts.
So you've got those that are,
Mhm.
how much control over their budgets do you have?
Let me tell you something. I'm pleased to say this. All those elected officials know up front that they are a piece of the pie.
Mhm.
And the citizens of Onslow County can rest assured those pieces of their pie that they fight for every budget season is being well spent because they are extremely conservative, you know, and the commissioners have got, you know, has got the responsibility to provide funding needed for needs of our community.
The county commissioners also have, say so over, is it 80%? I mean, 20%, 80,
Well,
79% or something is dictated.
It's 80% that's dictated at state and federal level.
Right.
Okay. The other 20% is what the other piece of the pie that's taking care of our first responders, our sheriff's department, our registered
those other
deeds,
departments.
everything else that the citizens have to fund to operate the services that goes back to the citizens.
What's the biggest piece of that portion of the pie? Let's say 20%, we're going to call that a whole pie now.
Yeah.
So that whole pie is what you're looking at, 20%
Correct.
of it. What is the biggest chunk of it for?
Well, to me, the biggest chunk is between the first responders as an umbrella. Okay.
That includes the sheriff's office?
The sheriff's office,
Fire department,
EMS, fire,
Okay.
the whole nine
And you
yards.
think those are all pretty much carved in stone?
We have got some work to do in areas of everything.
Mhm.
It's not just one, but we need to get together and work out a solution to where we plan in the future, to where our elected officials that's within the organization, that they know that we are looking to serve them and the citizens in the future. Our EMS system, the sheriff's office, and other areas, our volunteer forces and stuff. And I do want to talk about the volunteers here in a moment. But we need all those services, Rayford. We need every one of them to be working and knowing that the county commissioners is with them, they're behind them, because we need each and every one of them.
What's the other pieces of the pie besides the individual departments? I mean, you've got mosquito control, you got this, you got that, you got all sorts of things.
The administration itself, the headquarters, there's all of it is looped in together.
Mhm.
We got our maintenance department, we got our solid waste, but they work under an authority. They got their own budget. Okay. The airport has got its own budget,
I would help me out here. Maybe I'm wrong. Is the airport not self-sustaining?
The airport is doing a wonderful job.
Do they make
are.
us any money?
Oh, yes.
Okay, then good.
Yes.
Can we get another one?
We're fixing to have a $29 million expansion.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
another
We need some
source of
jets.
revenue.
Yeah.
We need some jets.
Yeah, well, not only do we need jets, we need a storage facility. We need to have the big stuff coming here. We want it.
Do you know how many trucks? I drive to Wilmington once a month in the mornings. I leave
Yeah.
from this show and a
Here
little
we
bit
go.
later. Yes, go ahead, get in line.
Go ahead. Here
Because
we
somebody
go.
challenged me on it. Another official challenged me
Ooh.
on it, but I counted again, and my wife was with me. I ran into the first trucks just this side on the north side of Holly Ridge, FedEx. You know how many FedEx trucks that I counted between just north of Holly Ridge and where I turned off going to Wilmington on the interstate or the I-140? How long does it take me to drive that far? And I mean,
About 45 minutes.
Yeah. How many FedEx trucks do you think that I count? And this is not just one time.
Well,
They vary a little bit.
let me put it this way, Raver. I don't know what you counted, but Laura and I was going to my VA appointment this past week.
Mm-hmm.
We listened to this program all the way up to 53 and 40. But just as soon as I took that left, getting on 40, you guys went away. Okay.
Oh.
But I
They
counted
got a block.
18 trucks, FedEx trucks
I
coming
got
to
The
Jacksonville.
highest number that I've had is 63.
Yeah.
The typical is going to be somewhere around 55.
Yeah.
On some days, they have to run more. Now, I cannot count all of them because coming from Wilmington, I spent a lot of time dealing with FedEx,
Right.
and they don't always have marked trucks. Sometimes they have to rent a truck when
That's
they have
correct.
overloads. So I don't know. I don't count those unmarked ones because I don't know who they are.
That's right.
but they're anywhere from about 55 to 63. I think 63 was the highest number I ever got. And that's over a very short period of time between Holly Ridge, say, and just south of Hampstead. That's a lot of trucks coming this way.
And that income could be coming from right here in Onslow
Ding,
County.
ding, ding.
We need industry in Onslow County.
We have an airport that could accommodate it.
We have an airport. The airport is growing leaps and bounds.
Wonder how much green stuff you could do with all that footprint of all those trucks. And those trucks are diesel for
That's
the
correct.
most part of it. And they don't put out a lot of stuff. Look at the traffic problems that are
That's
there,
right.
the traffic congestion.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
We're the way I looked at it, whenever I was down there with Sheriff Brown, I got some insight on a lot of things, that the inner workings and stuff. And back in Cumberland County, whenever I was up there, Otis F. Jones, one of probably the most powerful sheriffs in the state of North Carolina. I learned something from all of them. Is don't forget where you come from.
That's it.
You
Okay, so we're looking at that. Now, what is the other big chunk of that 20% of the total budget?
Well, we've discussed the administration side of it.
What's the big chunk of it?
The biggest chunk?
Go ahead. You're going to do it anyway.
Well, the school system. The school system.
Now, there's a formula now. Why do you even have to worry about it? The school system gets an X percentage of whatever your total budget is, right?
They're approximately getting 36.1% of our budget.
Of that 20%?
That's correct.
So they get a third of the 20%.
That's right. And
Now, what kind of controls does the county commissioners have over that?
absolutely none.
Well, when you get their budget, you have to approve their budget, don't you?
No, sir, we don't get their budget. I mean, it's time that you look at it, but the number that we get is what we get. And it's where I've got the biggest concern about the school. Let me tell you something. I want to make it perfectly clear. We've got to support our schools.
Oh, yeah. Otherwise, we end up with people who we don't want.
Yeah. There's 3 general statutes that covers what we are responsible for as commissioners and taxpayers of this county.
Mm-hmm.
I believe in each and every one of them. But in the same token, if we're getting 36% of the total budget that we have to fund them and absolutely have no say of what
Of how
the
they spend
funding
it.
correct. And we don't. I don't care what anybody says.
Well, they kind of governed by their budget is determined
Yes.
by a board of education, an elected board of education,
Correct.
right?
Correct.
And then they have a manager, the superintendent, kind of like the county overall has a manager,
Right.
the county manager. Now the county, the school superintendent and the county board, elected board, they get together and decide how that money is going to be spent.
That's correct.
Should the county commissioners have any say so in that? I'm asking. I'm not suggesting or otherwise.
I'm just going to tell you how I feel. Anything that is funded by the county itself, we should have a transparent of what our county funds are actually being spent on.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we're never going to be able to control some of it. The Board of Education throughout the state of North Carolina and across the board of the United States, that's one of the areas that is so wide open.
Mm-hmm.
They spend the money as they feel is needed in the area. That's where I have a big hiccup at, a very strong concern about, and we need to look at this, is that if we paid out this 36.1% and we have a storm that comes in and levels out our school system, the citizens of this county, the state and federal government, we've got to rebuild. We've already paid that 31.6 every year. our school system turns in what each individual school is needed. We are required by state statute to maintain the structures, pay the electricity bills, and to build new schools.
Now, let me back it up. Is that 36.1% that they're getting, doesn't go to pay for the new schools that are being built, or is that something separate?
That's
For construction costs.
separate.
Okay.
That's separate
Now, how
because
about for the maintenance of the schools?
we are on the hook to maintain those schools.
The 36% doesn't?
Yes, well, it's supposed to. It's supposed to. I'm not getting in the weeds on this part.
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm not doing
Let
that.
me just throw this one out then. If they've got a school board that's been elected by the people,
Mhm.
why not don't give them the 36.1%, reduce our tax rate accordingly, and let them set their own tax rate and let them tell the public, this is what the budget, you're going to have to pay this much to the school taxes.
Raven, I truly feel that you and I are not going to be able to take on this situation. This has got to be done at the state level.
I'm sure of that.
And it's got to be done through our elected officials at those levels.
Would that work? Would that even work?
I think if, anything is possible if you have people that are willing to represent the people. It's not a job, Rayford. It has never been a job. It's a responsibility. We have a responsibility to the taxpayers of Onslow County and every Onslow County across this great nation that we represent the people. Some people has lost their focus. I'm a football official and an official for wrestling. Every morning when we go up there, or every afternoon, whatever the case may be, before we go on that field, we have a meeting. We do a self-check. We've got to check ourselves to make sure that we are prepared. And that's something that we like. Anyone who wants to be an elected official, it's a responsibility. It's not a job. You're there to represent the people. And I feel that we've lost that. Some of us have got complacent. I've never been complacent. I've always been eager and ready to address the issues that come before me, whether they're good or they're bad. If there's smoke, sometimes there's fire. Sometimes it's just people that's upset. But if it's brought to our attention, we need to address it. And
let me, for those who may or may not be aware, I am, because I've studied these things for way too many years. Not here in Onslow necessarily, more so when I was doing reporting in another county, counties. And the school budget is submitted for a certain amount of money.
Mm-hmm.
County commissioners will get their bottom line deal, yada, yada, yada.
Right.
But you don't have any say-so of how that's spent. There's no line item
No.
budget approval, but you don't have a line item budget approval for the sheriff's office or the clerk's office or the register of deeds, right?
the county manager sees every line item that's within the county.
Yeah, but that includes the school.
That part, Rayford, I've asked, never got a reply.
So they don't know whether the county manager looks over
I
the
have
school
no
budget or
idea.
not.
I have no
I mean, that's a
idea.
big budget.
It is. It's huge.
It's just like Walter said, state law says that we have to fund the schools, or they could take us to court and sue us, which
It's-
99% of the time the schools are going to win.
It's been done. I don't think it's been done here, but it has
No.
been done.
Yeah, and each year, I think hasn't it been 100% of the commissioners have voted for the funding formula each year? Is that right?
Well, the funding formula and the 31.6
Yes.
is two entirely different entities.
Okay.
Okay.
I didn't understand.
The funding formula is made up of the individual students that come here each year.
Right.
Okay, and there's things that's in that. The state does not, and I want to make this perfectly clear, the state does not pay for all of our employees and our staff and our teachers. that's within the school system. It has to be taken on as a partnership. And let me tell you something. The educational side of it is a huge issue. It's not a problem. It's an issue that's got to be managed more aggressively. You know, our responsibility to the taxpayers is to provide the need for our students to where they can have the opportunity to be successful in life. That's Walter Scott's goal. And I don't know of a commissioner that's sitting on the boards, any board, that wants to take away from any student.
Right.
You know, so yes, do we have to kind of like suck it up? Yes, we do. But we need to do it responsibly. And that's what I have the concerns about. Are we doing everything that we can to protect not only the schools, but protect the taxpayers of this county? And that's where I have the issues at. Are we doing everything that we can?
Well, do you feel like we have a spending issue in the county?
Absolutely.
Yes, we do. Where do you see those issues, and what can we do?
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and tell you just right straight up front. I've asked for this for the last, whenever I was a commissioner, I asked for it. There's just one thing that I've asked all the administration to look at. Audit, truly audit the credit cards at the county government level.
Mm-hmm.
That's one area. And I can't get a response to that. If we have auditors that's on staff, okay? Audit.
Do we know how many credit cards are out there and for who?
I don't know if the commissioners know, the exact ones. I do know that each county department head are supposed to have not credit cards. I do know that some department heads don't want a credit card.
Walter, I thought we had an outside auditor every year come in and audit everything.
That is not the audit we do. We do have an auditor that comes in, but it does not audit every department. It is a piece of the pie. And what the auditors do is they actually go in and make sure that we, as responsible commissioners and administration, that we pay our bills like we're supposed to. That's what they really audit. There's not a true 100% audit done on any county that I know of. And I learned that the first month after being elected. And I went to Raleigh and I sat down in the classes, and they made it perfectly known that's what you're being audited for, or if you pay your bills, or you taking care of your obligations,
right,
and things of that nature. When we have an audit, the auditor sends out a text, give me a sample of what you're doing, and we're going to check. There is absolutely no way. And if you want to really upset some people, you have a true audit 100%. You're going to see that we're going to be paying another couple $1 million a year just in auditing.
Oh, I'm sure.
wow,
And so you got to pick and choose of what you got to go on. But to stand here and say that we have a 100% audit, I don't think that's true. And Walter Scott's not going to make that statement.
Here's a question from Mabuhay. He wants to know, does the county manager share the county budget in full?
No,
And why would you say that?
because I have had the privilege of sitting on that board, and you get a synopsis of what the county budget is going to be looking at. I've got before me right here last year's budget, which I have completely gone through and read twice, and gave the elected officials my concerns from last year's budget. Never heard back from any of them. Okay, so
What kind? Pick a couple of
Yeah, a
concerns
couple
that you got.
examples.
Tell me what your concerns are.
$39,765,717 increase from 2024 to 2025.
For what? Over what? For everything, the overall budget?
Yes, the
Okay.
overall budget. Now, in going into what people, the communities really don't understand, what I mean by communities county, is that the $39 million is part of that 80%. We had to fill, the commissioners had to approve 32 positions that went to DSS, okay, the health department area, okay. That is streams that was done years ago. This just didn't start happening. The commissioners don't have that. This is force fed. So now we've got 32 new positions. And since Howell was a commissioner for 4 years, we have now had approximately 75 to 80 force positions. Okay, that now the taxpayers of Onslow County, because the way it's set up is that the federal government mandates these positions. Now we have to maintain them after so many years. Okay, it becomes a burden on the taxpayers of this county.
So be careful what you wish for when you get grants, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Okay, because all of them have strings.
We used to say that about LEAI,
Yes.
Law Enforcement Assistance
Correct.
Administration.
That's right.
They give you this, give you that, and give you that, but then after 2 years or something, it's your problem.
From 2 to 5 years, it becomes a burden and a taxpayer
Never
burden.
forget, Chief Cook was said,
Yes.
we got to watch what we're putting in here.
That's
'Cause
right.
Once we got these people on board, what are we going to do then?
That's right. And unfortunately, we are trying to keep up with that expansion. But it's extremely difficult to take everything that every department needs. And I think this is one area that everybody should be able to sit down and look at and say, hey, look, this is really what our goals are. If you look at it, every commissioner has an opportunity to present his or her case. You can look back, I've got records of it. Every year I submitted my visions, my concerns, and my vision. Submitted it every year to the county manager. Mm-hmm. Some of those were taken from my visions and goals and actually taken out and put in. And I'm going to give you the example. The 3 cents for our volunteer fire stations and stuff. That was supposed to be indebtedness, 3% for the indebtedness. At that time, that 3% represented approximately $2.2 million. 3 cents. Okay? So we have an opportunity to go up there, and everybody's saying, well, we have to do this because the volunteers didn't do this. Let me tell you something. If it wasn't for our volunteer forces and the fire stations, we would not be in the great shape we're in right now, because they have to save Onslow County taxpayers thousands, if not millions of dollars over the years. And it's really a shame. And the biggest concern that some of our fire stations have is not being treated equal. And what I mean by treated equal, we have our outskirts, the county fire districts and stuff, that feel that once the county comes in, that they're going to take over everything. And that should be a concern of everybody's. Because back in the day when Walter Scott was a volunteer fireman in Onslow County, I actually heard the EMS director, the politicians of that day come into every fire department and make all these huge promises. Okay? And everybody's heard it. We don't have the reserves that our fire departments used to have. And there's reasons for that. When we were growing up in the 9 Mile area, back swamp, everybody, you were going to the fire department. Regardless if you felt that it was freely done or whatever else. You went to the fire department because your families were there. They dedicated their lives and their time to their individual communities.
One of the problems, and I think it's not just Onslow County, it's
all over.
One of the problems that explained to me, it used to be, he didn't have a pager. This was before pager days. This was before radio days. This was before radio. You had places that would have a big old whistle that would go off. The fire when the fire alarm goes off, everybody comes and running. There's a firefighter.
That's right.
They don't know where they're going. They just go to the fire station. First people there, get a truck, right on the board. I've gone to such and such.
That's right.
That's the way it worked. Now, problem is those people these days that used to live in that little district, that fire district, Pumpkin Center, for instance, 90% of the people in the fire department worked somewhere within that range.
That's right.
Anyway, now they live here, but they may work in Hampstead or
Well,
Wilmington,
Mm-hmm.
and they're not here during the day.
That's right.
You got plenty of volunteers at nighttime, perhaps, but you don't have them during the day. So what do you do with those? You gotta staff it.
Well, you
Somebody
do
needs to be
have to
there.
staff it. Somebody has got to be there to answer the calls.
And I would think that some fire districts in Oslo County, I don't know. I would think that it would vary from district to district. Maybe the folks out in the 9 Mile area, maybe Richlands, they still work in that area, a lot of them.
Some of them
A
do.
larger percentage there than in
Right.
here, for instance, than in Jacksonville or Pumpkin Center. Probably in Richlands, they have a
Right.
larger percentage of their fire department actually
That's
work
right.
there, so they're available.
That's right.
And Pumpkin Center, probably not. Swansboro, maybe not. I don't know.
Yeah.
But other areas.
Well, you got different areas, but Rayford, let me point out one thing. Most of the fire people that we have that has been through the system, Onslow County has been a feeding ground for our surrounding communities.
Absolutely.
Has been in the Lejeune fire departments and stuff on Lejeune. They have harvested some of the greatest firefighters, professionals.
Stole it from us.
Well, do whatever you want to do, but I don't blame them one bit
Not a
because they
bit.
got to feed their families.
Absolutely.
But those people now are coming back around because you know something? The workforce that has come off that base that started as junior fireman up to the firefighters. And look, when Lejeune gets them from our people, they're already firefighter 1, 2, and 3.
Mhm.
So they walk in the door, they're having a good time. But now they're retiring. They're coming back to the community.
That's good.
And that's the people that we need. We need to have the doors open. Walter Scott has always said, I've got an open door policy. I'll come to your house. I'll sit on your porch. I'll drink a cup of coffee with you. I'll meet you anywhere you want to meet. But at the end of the day, it's not a job. It's a responsibility. If you're privileged enough that I have been privileged enough to spend on that board, I drove 65,000 miles in 4 years.
In that 4 years, what did you learn during that 4 years that you would do differently today than you were doing then?
I hope and pray that we, as anyone who wants to run for those positions, are willing to sit down and at least hear somebody out. Don't shut them off because this is the way we've always done it, or this is the way that you're going to do it. Everybody on that board should have an equal voice. Okay, but if you get that vote to 4, and let me tell you something, if you don't think the county managers don't play that 4-vote rule, got another thing coming. Every one of them.
Well, they got to keep their job.
That's
and it's
exactly
up
right.
for renewal every year.
That's right.
They don't have any long-term contracts.
Well, that's something that really needs to be looked at. Because when we lock somebody in for 5 years and you find out a year down the road, this isn't what we really agreed to. But you know something? You can't put what you really agreed in every contract. I don't think that we should have a 5-year contract. I truly have changed my opinion on that. Stable ability. Yes, we need some type of stable structure. We need a solid foundation. But at the same time, when we realize that foundation has got cracks in it, we need to put something in it and repair it quickly, because it comes at a cost to everyone.
Now, are you talking about the contract of the county manager?
Yeah.
We only have one control.
5 years?
We only have one control over one employee at the county commissioner level, and that is the county manager. Period. I truly, sitting here today, Rayford asked a question. If that's the one thing that I would change, that's one thing that I would change, is to really look at what we are doing to lock our citizens and our employees into a 5-year contract.
Oh, I see. Right.
You know?
Okay, I misunderstood.
Yeah. So we really need to address that issue, because you know something, at the end of the day, we have got to keep three things together.
Mm-hmm.
It's not Onslow County by itself. You know, we have our surrounding counties. Jacksonville's got their responsibilities. Sneed's Ferry's got their responsibilities. Swansboro's
Right.
got their responsibilities. Richlands has got their responsibility. As a whole, every map that I've ever looked at, Camp Lejeune and all the ones I mentioned are within Onslow County.
Right.
And we need a voice at every table. There should never be a closed door and say, this is the way it's going to be, because different circumstances make changes at different levels. And we have to be willing to sit down and really listen. You know, you can say what you want to about Walter Scott, but there's one thing that I will do, is be truthful and transparent. If you ask me a specific question, if it doesn't involve personnel issues and attack me personally, I'll sit down and talk to you.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Why don't you propose that you and anybody else who wants to, but if you start it, others will follow, hold a town hall meeting as a county commissioner? You can't have 3 others with you,
I can only get 3.
but you can have yourself.
That's right.
If you will go out there and explain to the people at a town hall meeting every quarter, we had a sheriff, his name was Miller,
Mm-hmm.
who did that.
That's right.
And it seemed to work for him, because, you know, he was coming in for a major regime change when he came on board. But you know, if you would,
Rayford, I
that-
totally agree.
that as an individual,
I totally agree with what you're saying.
every quarter have one different location.
And let me say this right here. And I'm not fighting you on this right here.
Just a
I
suggestion.
agree 100%. But you got to understand, the four that's got the vote together can lead what you're trying to do to be a hornet's nest instead of really being factual.
I can't see why they would want to fight, not to go out there to dictate, but just to get the feelings of the people.
That's right.
I would assume that most of those would want to do something similar, if not ask you to join you.
Well, you know,
I
we
mean,
should.
would you be willing to have others join you?
Absolutely.
2 others, 3 others?
Absolutely. It's not only that. I would love to see, and if that's really what they want to do, then get me on the board, and I'll guarantee you this: I'll have a place every quarter. I know, but we need to get the elected officials in those other districts to come with us, because everybody should be at the table. Everybody.
They can be invited. They
That's
cannot
right.
be mandated.
That's right. Hey, it's all you can do is put it out there.
Has it?
That's it.
I thought, didn't they used to do that, where they went different areas of the county and all the municipal leaders got together with the county and they had a round table?
They
The only
they've
one-
had meetings at
Yeah.
one time or other. They moved the county manager or the county commissioners had a
Yeah.
meeting at this location one time, this location. I don't know.
That's been years ago.
quite a long time
I
Yes,
ago.
think
yes, it's been
COVID
years ago.
changed everything.
Well, it was prior to COVID, but you know, we did have individuals, commissioners, elected officials that went into certain areas at certain times. We got 24 districts in Onslow County.
Yes, you do. 24 precincts.
And I can advise the citizens right now, maybe we need to get more involved at the district level, to go around. And that's something that I'm willing to do. And I know of 2 other candidates that will be on board with doing just that. Because to be honest with you, I didn't get where I was at because I was sitting at the house. I was out in the community. I'm still out in the communities. I enjoy going out and talking to the people that we represent because that seat doesn't belong to Walter. It belongs to you, the voters.
We're wrapping up here, but you rankled a whole bunch of people on the county commission, the board, fellow commissioners.
Yeah.
You did that censure route. They did whatever. You can't work it alone.
No.
And you have no power alone.
No.
There was socialist media and other people and whatever said that Walter Scott was out here knocking on doors and acting as a cop and responding to this and to that. You had lights on your vehicle and you had all sorts of cool stuff out there. Is there any validity that you were the solo maverick of the commissioners?
Absolutely not. None whatsoever.
Maverick.
The issue
not a bad thing.
Maverick.
No. The issue was if I come upon something, that's wrong, and I'm gonna tell you something that's happened real recently. I was going to a VA appointment in Cumberland County. I was on the way home, not feeling good at all. My wife was with me. I seen the lady as we were coming up on an area. She was pulled over into the median. And so I went on up and I got in there and I turned my truck back around and my wife stated, you're not in hot pursuit, So,
I was joking.
And so I went up there and I found out that the young lady had come across a metal object in the road, and it had pinned itself between the bottom of her vehicle, and it was causing sparks, and she pulled over on the side. So I got down and jacked up her car, got the metal the object out, removed it. She was on her way. She had her family in the car, and everybody's happy. If I come upon something, I'm going to do something about it.
Who helped you get off the ground?
Well, the one that I made a promise to, God, because I've had double knee surgery in the last year.
I know how that is.
Okay.
I'll do it, but I tell you what, come on, hold this thing here. Where's that cane that I lost? I need to know.
I have been blessed beyond measure with my physical condition. My goal in the future is to get back on that football field.
You're not going to be playing. You're going to be.
No, I'm gonna be officiating.
Oh, you're going to be one of them yellow flag guys.
I'm gonna be. Yeah.
Do you ever get to do Jacksonville High School? Have you done
Oh,
that?
absolutely.
There you go.
Absolutely.
Oh, well, when
Fix is in.
you get out there, and I'll talk to you.
The fix is in.
Come up and see.
Yeah. Yeah.
I got some wireless. I can put a bug in your ear. I'll tell you what.
Well,
We're horrible.
you guys are terrible. I mean, I sit down there with you guys a couple of times, and y'all are tough on my fellow officials.
Yeah, well, it's part of the game.
But
I'm gonna take that ref out.
Nobody listens to me when I do it. If I watch TV, but I don't, nobody cares.
Oh, yeah.
My wife is just shut up.
Take him out of the knees.
I mean, hey, look, I got knocked out. In Duplin County, I was up there. I was the umpire, and it was just like you could sense something's fixing to happen. And it happened a call before this, and I went back. I read the play, and they were coming right for me, all 4 of them, and they just ran over me. And I don't know if anybody has ever experienced it, but I seen Big Bird, Tweety Bird, Little Bird.
I've seen stars.
Yes.
Gee, all these white stuff
And-
spots.
And everybody said that I popped back up, made it back down, and I just went right back down. And they got me over to the ambulance, and they put me in the back of it. I said, I got to get back on the field. They said, you're not going back on the field. I said, oh, yes, I am. And they said, oh, no, you're not. And so Walter, being the hard-headed person he is, I tried to get up, but it didn't take me long to realize
They were right. You were wrong.
Walter's not getting up from this, and sometimes, we got to sit back and take a look at it. You asked what I would do different.
Mm-hmm.
I would be more patient, extremely patient, and say, hey, look, guys, seriously, I need to sit down one-on-one, two-on-two, every way y'all want to do it. But please hear me out. Instead of just saying, we're not going to listen to you.
It's Walter Scott, so he doesn't count.
Excuse me?
It's Walter Scott, so we're just doing like
That's exactly what happened. And I'm willing to sit down and work with any elected official. I don't care who they are. I don't care what capacity they are. If you come to me, I'm going to address the issue, and I don't really care. I just want everything to be upfront, above board, and transparent to the people who elected me to office.
But the people kicked you out a few years ago.
Well, I don't know.
Aren't you just tainted now? You're no good anymore.
Right.
I'm going to go right back at you because it's the four that had these fake stuff put up on whatever.
But the media, the voters did it.
Hey, look, you can be persuaded.
You know where I'm going now, do you?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I know exactly where you're going.
There's another man in office right now that was kicked out too.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Well, 45, 47.
Yeah.
Well, getting back to now, actually, once you become commissioner again, the only real employees you have that are governed by the commissioners is county manager. How about the clerk to the board and the county attorney or anybody else?
Well, you don't hire them.
Well, there's a process there. Right now, our county manager is the clerk to the board.
Why? What happened
Because,
to the board?
I'm not going into personnel stuff.
Oh, okay. Well,
Okay,
no, I
I
didn't
can't
mean
go
it
into
that way.
personal- yeah.
Right.
Okay. But that's one, and I feel this, that's one of the mistakes that Walter Scott made. And I'm willing to admit it up front because that's one of the things that we really need to look at. We need separation from the county manager and the clerk to the board. That clerk should work for us as commissioners. Okay? Then we have more control. I believe, and I'll tell anybody this, if I had it to do over again, that will never happen again. Never. Because we're putting our eggs all in one basket, and the one basket controls everything. And that should never be the way it has. There's no transparency there. There's no clarification there. And to put a thumb on top of one person with all that much authority and responsibility, it just doesn't work.
So looking at our strategic focus that we have planned, do you find that that's a good plan? That the focus is where it should be?
I think there is room for improvement. I think that we need to go back and look at everything as a whole. I think that we need to put a freeze on the CPI, the capital improvement plan, and anything that we're building in the future. Make sure that we're focusing on what we need, not only today, but in the future. We need to relook at everything we've got.
Right.
And I'm going to bring it up because it's a perfect example. Go to Rhodestown Volunteer Fire Department. Look at that beautiful facility that they have. And if I had more input prior to me becoming a commissioner, that's something we need billeting in these areas. We have some, but not exactly what we need. Beautiful structure. You go over here to Piney Green, look at the cost difference.
Well, they did their own though. That's money they raised.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. But at the same token, there's still county funding in there.
Right.
We have some county fire or volunteer fire stations that are required to have a budget every year. The fire station that is not a volunteer state, it still has a volunteer status, but is funded by the county. Let's see their budget. Let's see what they're budgeting. Okay? That's not been made available. Okay? We own that fire department now.
That's from emergency management though, right? Is that
Yes, sir.
control? They
Yes,
control
sir.
that. Okay.
That's right. So let's ask them for a budget and see and compare it to what we have. Transparency is what it's all about.
You're going to need 10 more commissioners.
Well, I don't think we need 10 more commissioners. We need the commissioners to understand that everybody sitting at that table has got a voice. Don't cut them off. Listen to them. And then if we all come to a conclusion and you prove, and we shouldn't be there to prove against each other. We should be there to discuss the issues openly to the board during a workshop. We cannot make decisions at workshops, but we can certainly talk about our disagreements and areas that we need to improve.
Can't have it as a closed session.
That's right. That's right.
All right.
Wow.
Well, thank you for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for taking care of my puppy.
Oh, you.
But I'm watching you. There are 17 cameras around this place.
Well, when I quit rubbing, like starts moving.
Oh, he will. Yeah, he will stay there forever.
Yeah,
Rub that dog, scratch the dog's head. He's yours forever, right?
his eyes pop open.
And that's a good thing.
Rayford, I brought you some stuff here.
I'm gonna be reading.
Yes.
That one book, the pamphlet that's right there.
I like this one already.
That tells, because we are graded or we are observed at state level,
Mhm.
and this book is printed on a yearly basis. It comes from our partners. That's up there at the state level. It completely goes in every area of responsibility for every county, the responsibilities and how Onslow County stacks up against its fellow counties more within the state.
Okay.
So you'll see everything in that book. You've got everything here that I promised
I'll be reading.
Yeah.
Oh.
So have fun. God bless. And
I'll see you next year.
that's it. God bless you.
It'll take me some time to read all of that. Of course, I've read budgets before.
Yep.
And the New Hanover County budget was a
Yeah.
bear.
Yes, sir.
I
Deal a
tried
few
reading
decades ago. It was a bear then.
I tried reading it. I got a
But
third to half.
I
I was like,
would challenge the media. We're not the news media.
That's right.
We don't do news. We unfortunately get forced into it from time to time,
yes.
but we comment on news. That's what our goal is. That's what our mission in life is. But we also, I would challenge our real media. Unfortunately, they've got very young people who have never seen one of these and would not understand it because it's not in journalism school or broadcast school, whatever that Sam Hill that is, or what's that other one, public something school. But it's I would challenge them, if nothing else, pick a section. Not nitpick a section, pick a major significant section of this budget or any other budget and just take a look at it and then say, this is not really, and do it with a legal pad and a pen and a calculator because you're going to need it, and say, where does this add up? If you've got questions, then you go ask them. Ask somebody to explain it. There's probably a good explanation.
There
There may not be on some of them. And those that there's no good explanation, that's what makes you a news story. That's when it becomes a news story. If it's done this way and has been done this way forever and ever and ever and ever, and they can't explain why, there's your news story, people.
That's correct.
I hate to have to teach you how to do journalism, but that's the way it works. You can almost become, you won't be a CPA, but you're going to get an education that you never got before.
That's correct. That's correct.
I mean, you got one reading this stuff for 4 years. Guarantee you.
I found out some things that I didn't want to find out.
I
And
found out things that I just bit into and had a blast.
But I found out some things that I had questions for and I never got answers.
Yeah.
And that's what the sad part is.
Yeah, well, you have to be a bulldog at that time. Walter, thank you.
Thank you.
All
Thank
right.
you so
Be
much.
safe.
Yep. God bless.
All right.
Appreciate you. Thank you.
We're going to wrap it up. We're going to see you on Monday. I mean, today's Monday, right?
Yes, today is
we got
Monday.
we got a Tuesday this week coming up, right?
We have a Tuesday.
And I do not.
22
Today is a
hours
holiday, but I don't have to put my trash out tomorrow since my trash day is tomorrow. I put it out Wednesday. That calendar
No.
doesn't say that. What?
No, because I didn't get any notice to change my trash day. It's only yard waste this week. That's the only thing that's changed. Everything else is the same.
That calendar says no trash today.
Well, because
Would you take a
Monday
look
is
at that?
not your trash day.
I know, but it's not just me, is it? Isn't it everybody? This
No,
calendar
it
is not just printed
says
for me as much as I would like
trash regular schedule.
to on today.
Oh, that's transit. Wait a minute. No
Transit?
sanitation.
You comparing transit to trash now?
I don't know.
What's going on, girl?
I always get texts and emails and phone calls saying your trash day has changed to Tuesday. I did not get any of those. The only thing I
Did
got
you put
was
your trash out today?
no. The only thing I got, well, because I didn't have any. The only thing I got was there would be no yard waste
Did your
collection.
neighbor put his trash cans out today?
Oh, right here it is now. Look, Monday, garbage and recycling collection
What's the date
on
of
the
that?
20th. Today's January the 20th.
It says garbage pickup today?
That's for the Monday people. You're Tuesday, and it says garbage and recycling collection.
I know that, but
So
what about
what's the
today?
question?
Is there garbage pickup today?
Yes, I just read that.
Today is Monday.
Today
19th.
is January. Oh,
It's the 19th. Lee, it's the 19th.
yeah, disregard anything I just said.
That's what I said.
All right,
Disregard
because I'm
everything
like,
you just said.
no sanitation collection today, but yet I did not get. Okay, it doesn't matter for me anyway. Y'all set your garbage out and it got picked up, fine. If not, then it's there for tomorrow. Your day ahead.
And then they're going to come give you a ticket. Because
Then
you're
they're
not
going to come
supposed
give you a ticket for setting it out before 5 p.m. They're not going to do that.
Okay, we'll see you tomorrow after I straighten the young lady out here. See
Ma'am.
what I have to deal with. You know, sometimes you just can't get it straight. We will see you tomorrow on my trash day, but we're not sure it's my trash day. I'll let
Tuesday
you know
the
later.
20th.
That's tomorrow.
That's tomorrow.
Have a great rest of your day. Be safe.
Okay.
We're awake, not woke. Bye. I'm going to go to sleep. See ya.